Idaho may be best known for its famous potatoes, but in the northern part of the state, wheat is king. Plentiful rain and rich soil allow farmers to produce millions of bushels without irrigation systems. But manipulating water is still important to Idaho's grain growers. Lower Granite and 7 other dams on the Snake and Columbia Rivers make Lewiston a seaport. Wheat Commissioner Joe Anderson says the slackwater system and the barges that use it create a very efficient and cost-effective way to get their crops to Asia.
And they can have barge loads of wheat ready to load on an ocean-going ship in about less than 4 days.
So hearing Congressman Mike Simpson say removing the 4 dams on the lower Snake River is a real possibility makes the region's grain growers nervous. Anderson says removing the Snake River dams would be devastating to hundreds of farmers in Idaho and throughout the Columbia Basin, biting into, if not eliminating, already tight profit margins. He says the past 44 years since the completion of Lower Granite Dam have been bountiful for Idaho wheat farmers, dramatically increasing yield and profits.
They've provided a lot of jobs and an economy and a way of life that we're really accustomed to.
But Native Americans say the dams have disrupted a way of life that goes back much further than the 1970s. For centuries, salmon returning from the Pacific have been a vital part of life for the Nez Perce tribe.
We're part of them and they're part of us, and the connection, runs deep, back tens of thousands of years, and they're a vital resource to the tribe as far as dietary needs, but also the spiritual connection that we have.
The Nez Perce spend more than $20 million each year working to keep salmon and steelhead returning to their native lands, including the work they do here at the Dvorak Hatchery. But this year, the number of Chinook making it past Lower Granite so far is around 25% of the 10-year average and just a fraction of the number that made it back just a few generations ago.
In reality, what we're doing still today is trying to protect our way of life and trying to get back to where we were before, and we're not even close.
Anderson says there's no firm evidence that removing dams would elevate salmon numbers.
To make this leap that this would be a cure-all is just way oversimplifying a very complicated problem.
And with many railways in the region sitting stagnant and in some cases removed, he says finding alternative transportation may not be as simple as some think.
And one of the other problems that comes with that is that the rail system between here and Portland is pretty close to capacity. You drive to Portland and there'll be trains stopped along the tracks waiting in sidings because they can't handle them in town at the export elevators.
Anderson thinks recovery efforts should focus on many other issues facing Idaho salmon, especially predators like sea lions, whose populations have skyrocketed in recent decades. Oatman agrees that salmon face many challenges, but he believes without a free-flowing Snake River, future generations of Nez Perce have little chance of seeing the kinds of returns his elders once enjoyed.
And we've tried just about everything else to bring those fish back, short of removing those dams. And I'm glad to see that that's back on the table, that it's becoming, in my lifetime, that'll be a reality.
He hopes recovering Idaho salmon runs will be a part of his legacy, and he hopes Congressman Simpson and other representatives will strive to make it part of theirs. Steve Liebenthal, 6 on Your Side.